and clean with a handkerchief and putting 1 or 2 towels in the classroom. So everything you have to look after. You have to look, you are the person, because he is spending 6 hours or 7 hours with you. An NKG child means only one teacher at that time. So his parents are in the coal mines, coming late at night. The fellow is coming to school and going back. And who will look after him? You have to look after. So that's what your responsibility is more when you are when your school is having a hostel, a residential hostel. Then most of the time he is with you, right? Then coming to the all-round development, physical development, intellectual development, social development, emotional development, moral development, aesthetic development, and spiritual development. Yes, all these must be inculcated. They are the minimum 7 dimensions. My children now and then, even I will ask all my children, even we will get a circular. Tomorrow, as exams are going to be started, within 2 days, let us go and pray the God. Yes, praying God is nothing wrong. But I have seen many children here, small kids, before each and every exam, they used to come and they put a namaskar and they will go right for the exam. It is good. I have seen a group of children, they used to come to us, sir, do you require any help? That is the social dimension. And all these things were encouraged by the teachers only, remember. And this is very, very important, developing. But I have not seen till now any person who have all the developments in him. As an administrator, I have gone many schools to visit. Behind the principal, the chair, there are 3 honor boards. Good sports champion, academically very good person, a good outgoing student. But I have not seen a single name reflected on these 3. A person who got 100 and 100 and total first is not good at sports. Sometimes he is not showing good behavior. But in many schools I have checked for it. But unfortunately no. So you have to give due care. And many a times I used to ask my teachers, at least to be selfish. Make your children to develop all these things in him or in her. So because at least we have to take care of our own children. Though you are thinking that it is too difficult to develop in many children, at least your own children you try to develop. Then coming to the teaching in the classroom, I don't know. Even after the teachers, students are trained under me, gone as the teachers, they used to write letters to me. Work చేస్తున్నారు గవర్నమెంట్ జడ్పీ స్కూల్లో ఉన్నారు సార్ వెన్ ఐఎమ్ యూజింగ్ టీచింగ్ లెర్నింగ్ మెటీరియల్ ఇన్ ద క్లాసెస్ మై హెడ్ మాస్టర్ ఈజ్ నాట్ యాక్సెప్టింగ్ ఫర్ ఇట్. ఇప్పటికి ఉంది రూపవాణి అని ఒక టీచర్ కానూరులో పనిచేస్తుంది. సో యూ let the teacher, whatever they learned in their training, let them use it. Obviously, we are not using. Because nowadays we are having our lot of smart classes, etc., etc. We are doing those things. So, how to teach in the classroom? NCERT has given 20 steps. If your teachers read those 20 and followed in the classroom, and your teacher will be a great teacher. They are not given, not now, long back they were given, and we have not seen any teacher following all the 20 hints given by NCERT, the apex academic body of India. Right. So then coming to the next important thing, the outcomes for what you are teaching. Even I am very happy to see that when my madam has given my physical education syllabus, what to teach in the class. So surprisingly, and it is a very good thing, that the CBSE had mentioned unit name and topics and specific learning objectives, the objective for which you have to teach that topic, then suggested teaching learning process, in other words, the methodology that you are going to use in the classroom while teaching that particular topic, and lastly, learning outcomes. Learning outcomes are, which we call them specifications, or we are calling them as competencies, whatever the name you give either, sometimes we call it as a minimum levels of learning, MLLs, all these are one and same. So definitely after the end of your classroom teaching for 15 minutes, in the last 5 minutes, let us evaluate whether we are able to develop those behavioral changes in the child or not. I will read out a few for your kind information from 12th class syllabus, because when I am teaching a lesson, I have gone through it word by word. And they made a mention to, while teaching this unit, I have to follow lecture-based instruction, then technology-based instruction, where I have to use smart classes or interactive boards, whatever it may be. Then group learning, where I have to make the children into groups and make them to learn, where some self-learning is there, and individual teaming, inquiry-based learning, which is nothing but your not only question answer but laboratory method, and kinesthetic learning, because this is physical education, that's why you are having that word, kinesthetic learning. Obviously, I have to take him to the playground and make him to learn, and game-based learning and expeditionary learning, yes, expedition, we are not encouraging, we are not following, because the child has to learn every subject through expedition. So it is not subject-based curriculum. Actually, if you are teaching all the subjects, you might have studied the project method, which is an example for that. It is not about one subject, all the subjects they are learning. So that is that type of. So these are the methods which are suggested by CBSE to me while teaching the physical education. In the same way, I don't know. Even definitely this type of information will be there in the handbooks prepared by CBSE curriculum. Sometimes when you open CBSE website, you may have only the new syllabus, that's all, not so much of details. But definitely this type of details will help you, because don't forget to make your children teachers to read the four words, whether you are following a private publisher or government publishers. Whatever the book you are following in our class, whether state board or CBSE, simply when I am asked to teach 8th class biology, I will start from the first unit. I never read the first few pages. In the first few pages, very important information is there. It is not what to teach. What to teach is there in the remaining pages, but how to teach, why to teach, that is there in the first few pages. That is important. Why you are expected to teach the 90 pages of the book? We are doing that. If generally, even a few years back, I think 2 or 3 years back, I was asked to edit 5th class science and 6th class science. 5th class, it is not science nowadays. We are not using environmental studies 1 and 2, but we changed it as our world. So then obviously, I have edited not only the lessons, I have edited what it is there in the first few pages in the 4 words, because whether the purpose of that book or the purpose what it is laid by the government has gone into the book through the process or not, that very much important. So in the 6th class also, general science I have done as one of the editor. But the other editors, they won't come and they are big shots, university professors and all. And obviously I did with a lot of interest in children, not interest in other things, whatever the thing that they give for that. So that is quite important. You make your teachers to read that foreword so that you can use the proper methodology, what to do it and how to do it. Okay, then next important, madam, time avutunda. Next important aspect is value education. You are seeing in the present society, there is a lot of gap between my generation and my next generation and the present generation. In our generation, whatever my ideal self is, it is my real self. What I want to be, when I felt and what I am leading, the same life, ideal self is equal to real self. If that is there, you are the most happiest person in this world. But nowadays, probably what is your ideal self is itself at the doldrums. And people, definitely some people will ask, why can't you change according to this generation? We may or may not. It is too difficult for us. So that's why there exists always a generation gap. And my generation is the last generation. We used to follow the words of the parents. And your generation is the first generation who are going to follow as parents. You are guided by your children. Remember that. So there is a lot of gap between your generation and my generation. Your generation is ruled by the children, .com children, who are not able to discriminate what is bad and what is good. You can't even manage a 1.5 year child who is traveling in the bus without your cell phone. Yes. Too difficult. బస్సులో వాళ్ళు బిస్కెట్టి అరే ఎవరాదురా సెల్ ఫోన్ అంటే సార్ దాంట్లో బ్యాటరీ అయిపోవచ్చింది సార్, నేను 40 కిలోమీటర్లు జర్నీ చేయాలి, వీడికి ఇస్తే చేస్తాడు సార్ 2 నిమిషాలు. Who knows? So remember that it is a very, very generation gap is always there. Whether you are changing, you change according to the objectives of your education, but not according to the present. So value system. Remember, you cannot teach values to anybody. Value education, when it entered into the education field, it was started as a religious instruction. It was changed as moral instruction. It has been changed now value education. The word value education is good, but whether there are many words, education in values, education for values, education in human values, or value education. So what value system you are going to develop in a child? If I make a person a great officer who is accepting a lot of bribes, then I have to hang myself. That's all. I have not developed any person. I have not developed a person who is having a value system. That's why I told you, it is too difficult to teach values, and children will learn values not by hearing, but by seeing and observation. That's why, particularly the teachers, you have to follow values. They will learn from you the values. Values can be caught, but they cannot be taught. This is what my experiences say. I tried many experiments in my school to make people honest by starting a honesty post office. At that time, post office, we are using letters and all, no cell phones, nothing, around about 30 years back. And for 15 days it has gone well. On one fine morning, my attendant came and told, sir, the whole box is not there, the money is not there, the letters are there. then I thought better to stop this type of experimentation. So I am not able to teach values. From that day onwards, I strongly believe that values can be taught, but values cannot be taught in the classrooms. That's very important. Then one more, I think, within 5 minutes I will close. Then next important thing is the development of scientific attitude. An attitude of a scientist that you have to develop in the minds of the children, so that they are not going to become, or they are not going to susceptible for unscientific things. But in each and everything, you have to find out whether there is a scientific reason is there or not. Yes, obviously, nowadays, we are not looking into it. All your superstitions, why you are calling them superstitions? Whether they are not explained by science, that's why you are calling it as a superstition. For example, in my childhood, my grandmother used to say, "Arey, mancham ala vesu pudukunna kada, dakshinaniki uttaraniki, mancham dippuga sariga." వాళ్ళకి ఏం తెలుసు, 50 ఏళ్ళ ఆవిడ చదువుకోలేదు, ఏంటి నాకు చెప్పేది. But yet, it came from her generation after generation. She doesn't know that earth is round, it is having 2 poles, and magnetic waves passes, and if those magnetic waves passes through my brain, and my lovable grandson will become a mad fellow. But generation after generation, she acquired that knowledge. Yes. అండ్ మామిడి తోరణాలు కట్టడంలో మేము ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రాశస్త్యత మీకు తెలిసిందే కదా, ముగ్గు వేయడంలో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రాశస్త్యత మీకు తెలిసిందే కదా, సంక్రాంతి పండుగకి ఇల్లు అడుక్కునేది ఆవు పేడతో ప్రాశస్త్యం మీకు తెలిసిందే కదా. Nowadays, if you tell the present generation, they won't believe and they won't. ఇప్పుడు లేవు అనుకున్నాను కదా, వాకిలే లేవుగా, ముడుచుకోవటానికి అంతా కామన్ వాకిలే, ముగ్గేసుకోవడానికి ప్రసక్తే లేదు, స్టిక్కర్ తెచ్చి అక్కడ అతికించుకుంటాం, అయిపోయింది, common area. So all these things, though they seem to be superstitions, there is some scientific reason behind them. If you develop such a type of scientific attitude in the children, they will really become good citizens, because they will find out what is the reason behind each and every effect or cause, right? Only last one. And sometimes you will come across multi-sensory training. We know that. So that's why our teaching learning material is very important. Even we used to have around about 20 to 30 classrooms with smart classrooms in our school. And many teachers used to use that. But later on, when the project that over, that EduCamp, I think, that was the organization who used to provide us with the soft material to teach the children by using the hardware, and many teachers used to follow that, and definitely it is having its own influence. Even I used to use the smart classrooms after my teaching, but unfortunately for some teachers it became a substitute for him. That's why it is wounded up. No, they are only supplements to us. What I cannot do, that will do. They cannot replace me. So nobody can replace the teacher. Remember that. So that's why you make wide use of your latest educational technology. Right. Lastly, whoever in the teaching profession, please try to improve your qualifications.
Yes, sir.
Once you stop reading, most of the people, they won't read books after they got a job, except their textbooks. But obviously, as a teacher, you have to go beyond your subject, beyond your textbook. Remember that. And Second important thing is improving qualification through open learning system. Those are working in UKG and LKG, please management, please think of providing them training in early childhood education. They can do ECCE, where some of the science teachers can undergo a certificate course in how to manage the laboratories. There is no need for you to appoint a laboratory assistant in the school if one of the teachers will undergo such courses. So such many courses are available. You try to, even madam a few days back she is asking, sir, suggest to our teachers some of the institutions where pre-primary education diplomas are being offered so that to strengthen our teachers. So obviously you have to update your knowledge. As a zoologist, 1 year back, I studied a certificate course in ornithology. Ornithology is the study of birds. There is an institution in our great Rishi Valley school where there is a bird study center is there. I enrolled in that institution and I have completed that course successfully. Though I may or I may not use it in my daily teaching in the classroom, but obviously one has to improve their qualification, then only the candle in you is always burning, so that you can throw out the darkness from the minds of the people, the children. And the last word, yes, as you know, that we are having only two components. One is the physical component, another is your Atma. Even when you are defining yoga is a union of Atma with Paramatma. It is the ultimate truth is death. No scientist can stop death. So that is the truth. So only your body is having that destructive nature, that's all. But your Atma is always there. Either it has to go merge with the God, or it has to take another life. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
And you try to understand the purpose for which he came and to do that purpose. Don't forget, when we die, physically, we are standing before the Almighty. When the final judgment day, when he asks, do you have anything? As a teacher, I have to say, I have nothing, because I have given everything to my children. That should be your mindset. Then you will definitely become a great teacher, and you will become an educationist, and you will be in a position to guide your teachers as well as the students. I once again thank the principal madam who given me this opportunity to share my experiences with you. Thank you, my.